Call of Duty Vanguard. Is it really that bad? Or are Call of Duty fans just spoiled brats who love to complain?
You are now tuned in to the one and only Mr. Merciless Badass. Welcome to the Murder Show.
Let's keep it real. Cause I played the beta, the alpha weekend, both of the beta weekends. I put in more time playing this beta than probably anybody, and I think I'm fully qualified to give an honest opinion as well as a non-biased opinion and let you know the truth whether this game is really dog shit or does it actually have potential to be one of the greatest cards ever. Now, before you bite my head off, give me a second now. Let's talk about that. Did you notice how when the beta dropped, they had a respawn delay just like Battlefield, where you hover over the map 3 to 5 seconds before you spawn back in? Have you noticed that they took it out of the beta? They didn't even make it through the beta weekend. They heard our feedback, they knew we didn't like it, and they took this shit out already. It's already gone. And that right there, my friends, is a sign that a developer is here for you. These developers, Sledgehammer, unlike Treyarch and Infinity Ward, don't have their head stuck up their ass. They not arrogant in their decisions to where they stand on stupid fucking decisions even though it's game breaking just because they dumbasses and they too proud to admit it. Just like in 2017 World War II, it was a lot of shit we didn't like and they fixed it. They already doing the same shit here, and I told y'all they was gonna do that. And that's way more than Treyarch and Activision is willing to do. Modern Warfare 2019 still got horse feet. This game right here sound like everybody got Ninja built in by default. So not having a dead silence perk, it just being a dead silence field order, not a big deal. I wasn't even running the dead silence field order because you don't need it because we don't have horse feet out here. So when people saying that that Modern Warfare 2019 is better than this, the fuck you talking about, son? I disagree, respectfully. And people saying that Sledgehammer's 2017 version of World War II is better than this, bruh. Granddad need to take a fucking nap. 2017's World War II was boring as shit. This shit right here, nigga, it might be a lot of things. Boring, it is not. The combat pacing made sure that you never get bored. It's never the same experience when you play these maps. Always different player counts, and that keep it fresh, man. I like the combat pacing. Probably the best thing about this game. What else they doing good out here before we start complaining? Man, I like the realism of the gruesomeness, of the visceralness of when you're knocking off heads, arms, legs, faces. You got meat and blood skeeting all over the place. I fucking dig that type of shit, man. You know, if you're gonna play a war game, it needs to look like real war, you know? And if it's too hot in the kitchen, stay your pussy ass in the living room, huh? But let's get into the shitty side of things. I'm sure some more things about the game I like, but let's talk about some of the shit that people out here complaining about, like the maps. These maps ain't like traditional Call of Duty maps. Ain't no 3 lanes in these maps here. And for old school COD boy, that might be a turnoff. Cause this shit actually feel more like Battlefield than it do COD. But like I say, that's a different commentary. But honestly, I think even though I'd rather simple maps, I think simple maps lead to a game that gets stale fast. These maps got a lot more going on. Players have a lot more choices. The experiences could be a lot more varied. Hopefully, if skill-based matchmaking don't have it the exact same every time like you know it will. But we'll get into that later. But this game is definitely not boring like Modern Warfare 2019 and World War II 2017. Nothing like it. And we owe that thanks to the combat pace. Because no matter how big the maps are, you're going to always have a chaotic experience because of the increased player count, which on one hand is a good thing sometimes, but sometimes shit get a little crazy out here, especially when you can't see shit because your enemies are all chameleons blending into the background, and you have a ridiculous amount of recoil on the gun as well as muzzle flash and muzzle smoke going on. You got the sun out here blinding you. Then you got all kind of just fog and haze be on the map and shit. Just knowing who to shoot in this game is a problem. Because not only do you have a tough time seeing your enemies because of the bullet flash and muzzle smoke and all of that shit, and hell of a recoil, not only that, but enemies are blending in with the background just like the last 2 years. They're the same fucking color as the background with no kind of contrast to make them stand out. And on top of that, we don't have factions in the game, meaning that you and your enemies are going to be looking just alike. Your enemies and your teammates going to have the exact same skins on. And that shit is hella confusing for me. You'll notice in these gameplays where I be shooting the shit out of my teammates, which is hilarious because looking at the gameplay, you would be like, damn, he don't know this a teammate. It's hindsight is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Your little backseat driving eyes, they ain't the same as the eyes that I had when I was playing this shit, okay? Hella fucking confusing out here. The maps are chaotic. You got enemies spawning in weird places. You got 55 lines of sight to connect to your ass at all times. It's pure chaos. Every match feels like Nuketown, you know? And I thought that, you know, hey, you know what? I don't really like Nuketown experience all the time. Maybe I'll try a slower combat pacing and it'll be more fun. No, it's not. These maps, most of them, were designed not for 6v6, but for 12v12 and 20v20 and 24 versus 24 and all that type of shit. Which don't really feel like traditional COD, but let's be honest, traditional COD then got boring. You know, same old 6v6, 1v7 and all of that type of shit. That shit get old. But I can honestly say that this COD right here didn't feel like any other COD that I have ever played. Even though it might look like a PS4 game and sound like a PS3 game, I'm sure they're gonna fix it just like they fixed the respawn delay. And guess what? One thing for sure, playing this beta, I didn't ever get bored, right? Every time you play a map, usually it's a different combat pacing. Even within the combat paces, like blitz pacing, for example, sometimes on this map might be 20 people, sometimes it might be 18 or 24. It was always something different. So every game always had a different pacing, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that kept the shit fresh. It made it harder to master, which made me actually want to play more because I like conquering challenges, you know what I'm saying? I just don't want a challenge that's too goddamn difficult for me to conquer to where it's frustrating. Like trying to maintain your aim on the enemy through all of the muzzle flash and muzzle smoke, and then the gun get to bucking like a bronco at the motherfucking rodeo. I'm pinned! Yes. Can we talk about that shit? Not a game breaker. Just hella annoying how often the enemies are out here talking about, I'm pinned! Bastards got me pinned down! Fuck, I'm pinned! Hey, stop pinning me! I'm pinned! This constantly yelling out, I'm getting pinned. You're saying it, your teammates are saying it, the enemies are saying it. Sometimes you blurt the shit out after you get killed. You know, you kill an enemy, his body hits the ground and he says, I'm pinned! But you're dead already. You're fucking dead. You're not pinned, you're dead. So, you know, hopefully Sledgehammer will go in and turn that shit down. You know, at least let it happen only when somebody's stick. You know, if you get shot at and you're still alive, yeah, scream it out. But if you get fucking executed with 3 bullets to the face, you don't have time to yell out, I got pinned, man. You know? But what else is good out here with this game? I am looking forward to playing free-for-all this year. I think this is going to be the best year for free-for-all. simply because we finally gonna have more than 8 people on the map. And you know, for the last few years, it seemed like they like making big maps more than they like making small maps. So free-for-all always suffers. You know, I don't think they ever test the flow of the free-for-all game mode on these maps. They just throw the shit out there, which usually end up making a boring experience for a lot of these maps because the map's too big with not enough people. But this year, with the combat pacing, nigga, it's gonna be like a ground war free-for-all. You know, and this little problem I'm having while I keep shooting teammates, I ain't gonna have to worry about that in free-for-all because it ain't no teammates. You know? So I'm looking forward to this year, man. Looking forward to the full game dropping. So I can get busy with some free-for-all, man. I had fun in the beta. And look, the stupid fucking field mics. Why can't we tell the difference between an enemy field mic and a goddamn friendly field mic? They look exactly the same. What's up with that shit? Definitely need to do some work on that. And same thing with the character models. You know, if they don't want to have factions, they should at least have, you know, faction-based uniforms for your character so that you could, you know, easily tell the difference between enemies and teammates. I don't see the point in having everybody look the same. I know they said they wanted, you know, people to have the freedom to be who they want to be. Man, fuck people's freedom and being who they want to be when it's muffling up the goddamn experience and you can't tell who an enemy is. I mean, goddamn, dog. Does it take a rocket scientist to realize that it's bad to have enemies and teammates that all look the same? Hello? You know, honestly, I think that's probably one of my biggest problems with the game is how everybody look alike. You know? Yeah, we back in World War II with old shitty guns, but check it out. We got 10 attachments for these motherfuckers, and it's gonna take a long time for you to get bored with a gun when you got that many different combinations and possibilities that you can put together. Man, I can't wait to grind this game out. Hopefully I can, though, because the big-ass elephant in the room that I ain't spoke on yet, but you know it's there. Yeah, skill-based matchmaking. Last 2 years it has really been crippling Call of Duty. You know, it's a lot of things to complain about this game, but none of them are really game-breaking to me, except skill-based matchmaking. Cause everything else in the game that's a problem, you know, like super slow sprint out times. You know, we can adapt and overcome to that type of shit. And pretty much anything else, you know, the low visibility, the tremendous recoil. We can work on improving in those areas, tightening up the recoil, you know, maybe upping your resolution so you can see better. You know, get you a Cronus Zen to control the shit for you. There's ways to overcome and adapt to everything in the game except the matchmaking. Unless you are a pub stomping, nuke dropping new YouTuber, then of course you can reverse boost out of that shit. But for regular people, we just out here stuck in the trenches. And I don't like it. And no matter how good the game is, if we gonna continue to be stuck in the trenches, isolated and alienated from the community, stuffed into sweaty backroom lobbies that never see the sunlight, nobody's gonna play the shit. I'm tired. Modern Warfare 2019 wore me out. Cold War definitely wore me out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do skill-based matchmaking for a 3rd year in a row. Sniper-based matchmaking for a 3rd year in a row. Tried to play some Cold War the other night. Played 2 games. First game, 2 quick scopers. Second game, 5 quick scopers in my one fucking free-for-all lobby. That shit is insane. That would never happen in real life. They need to get the fuck out of the way and stop playing Big Brother in the matchmaking and let the game breathe. Huh? But talk to your boy in the comment section, man. How the fuck you feeling about Vanguard? Is it Vanguard or Vangarbage? Fuck with your boy, man. And if you enjoyed the video, be sure to pimp slap the piss out the like button for your boy. Leave me a comment And be sure to hit that motherfucking subscribe button and don't miss none of this Call of Duty real shit. It's the Murder Show.